Hello, this is Steve Plummer and welcome to the program. If you're in business or have anything at all to do with sales, you're going to love what today's guest has to say. With us is Coach Cameron Roberts from the Academy of Sales and Negotiations, who helps business owners and large corporates generate more leads, create more sales, and build repeat sales and referrals. And I know that's what you love, folks. From everyday small businesses to giants such as NAB and MLC, Cameron has consistently shown them how to generate more sales and boost their efficiency. He's now a sought-after sales coach and speaker, having shared the stage regularly with the likes of Tim Costello, Justin Herald, and Alan Peace. Cameron says the sales landscape has radically changed over the last few years, and he's here to reveal exactly what it takes to flip things around and become a master renegade salesperson, even if you don't have the cheapest prices. And I know that's what you love, folks. Look, he's on the line right now. Welcome, Cameron.
Hi, Steve. Thanks for having me on board.
Okay, look, now that's a really big point. The sales landscape has changed radically in the last few years. How so?
Well, you know, we hear a lot about the new economy, but people don't really know what the new economy is. The new economy is all about relationships, because if there is such a thing as the new economy, relationships is the new currency of the economy. I mean, for instance, let's take a look at Facebook. There are over 1.1 billion users on Facebook every month and over 58 million tweets every month. People are looking to get connected, and you've got to make sure that you're connecting with people with real, genuine relationships to sell to them in the new economy.
So I'm guessing just by extension then, Cameron, it's a really good point you make, but I'm guessing by extension then necessarily what you did 3 or even 5 years ago perhaps is not the way to go in this modern economy then. Is that correct?
No, 3 to 5 years ago, people were doing the cold calling, always be closing grunt work of selling, which is what I call it. But it's changed. The landscape has changed. No longer can you just ring up someone out of the blue and hassle them. People are banning their phones. They don't want to be, annoyed. There's so much marketing and advertising material out there. The last thing that you want to be is a pest to your potential prospect. So, I teach the people that I work with and my clients to build solid relationships with their ideal clients and their ideal customers, so that when those people are ready to buy, they'll be at the front of mind for their particular business.
All right, great. And you've certainly become a sought-after coach within the sales and business community. That's not only where the Coach Cameron moniker comes from, is it? You have a background in coaching. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, look, Steve, I was actually a head swimming and triathlon coach based here in Newcastle, and I had the chance of chasing my Olympic dream and doing all the sort of things that you do as a top-level coach. I coach over 150 state champions, 30 national champions, but I got to a point where I realised that my Olympic dream wasn't going to give me the financial objectives that I had as goals. So my wife and I basically started our own swim school. I walked away from my dream as an Olympic coach, and we started our own swim school. And for me, I guess that's where the first lessons of sales and marketing started for me.
So I guess the good thing is you're not just coming from some outside expert with a bit of theory here. You've actually been a business owner and are still a business owner. So when you work with people, it's business owner to business owner rather than just aloof coach to business owner. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, absolutely. We started our swim school business from scratch with 0 clients. So I had to learn really fast how to attract the right type of people to my business, how to niche my business in such a way that people would contact me and I wouldn't have to go and contact them. We did it so well that our business became one of the most award-winning businesses of our kind, and in fact won more awards than any of our competitors combined. We did it so well, in fact, that a couple of years later I opened a personal training model in a different town of the swim school that we opened, and did exactly the same thing and won more awards in that business as well. And a lot of the awards weren't based on, my peers voting for me, the other business owners in the aquatic industry or the fitness industry voting for me, but they were all awards voted by the local community, our customers and clients, and they're the most important ones, I believe, that you can get.
All right, great stuff. And just, I guess, by extension, can you give us a little bit of information about what you do today?
Yeah, well, I was getting so good at coaching people, in the pool and working with my own teams. It became a natural progression that other business owners in the area started seeking my advice. And before I knew it, I was speaking to small teams, and that just grew and grew. And then all of a sudden, I was in front of teams of, MLC, NAB, and working with the corporates at the top end. And so that's where I am today. I work with small to medium business owners and corporations to improve their sales effectiveness and train their salespeople.
All right, great. Before we get too much further down the track here, though, there's something that I really want to address here that I think is really important, and especially for the business owners listening. Now, a lot of people think sales is just about the hard sell. Now, that's not right, is it?
No, it's not. Sales is really about soft selling techniques. In this day and age, as I said before, it's about relationship selling. And, a lot of people do think that sales is about the hard sell, but, the days of cold calling, always be closing, hard selling are dead. Actually, the hard sell was never there anyway. It was never effective. But even as recently as 5 or 10 years ago, you could still get away with it. But here's the thing, Steve. The internet and the social media landscape has changed what sales is forever. Nowadays, buyers are researching the heck out of every single buying decision. They actually know more than some of the salespeople in the stores. And, they know more about the business owner's products or services than some of the business owner's staff members do. And when they want an opinion, they ask a few thousand of their friends on social media. In fact, they know how much more everything costs too, and they're not afraid to take control of the sale.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one. You mentioned social media and so forth, and I think this is becoming a particular bugbear of many business owners, is that customers come into this is just one example of it, but customers come into their shops, they research products there and then in front of the shop owner. You kind of, as a business owner, how the heck do you beat that?
Yeah, it's actually got a name, and it's called showrooming. And that's where people go into a traditional bricks and mortar store to find the best product that they're shopping for, and then purchase that same product on their smartphone, often from an online competitor, whilst they're still in the store. I've actually seen it happen. You might think that you can't beat this, Steve, but I tell you, think again. I give my retail clients, I give them a system to beat this every single time. And it actually starts off by giving the shoppers access to an iPad with internet access in the store. What that does is it builds the trust and builds rapport. You're now coming alongside the consumer, and it also lets you open up a conversation about your extra service, your guarantees, and lets you offer extras like free delivery. You also get to see little stories as you're building rapport with them about what can happen if they buy online and have nobody else to ask for help. This simple strategy has seen my clients turn their struggling retail operations around and boost sales, even in the face of these online massive giants.
Well, look, that's great stuff, because I could imagine when that first started happening in particular, that must have just been so disheartening for the business owner. What's the point? Did you find a lot of people were feeling that way? Absolutely, and Steve, it's not going to stop. It's just getting bigger and bigger, and unless the retail stores do something about it, they'll be left behind. They really need to change the strategy. What worked 5 years ago no longer works. That's how quickly the sales landscape is changing. You can't just spend all your money on advertising and expect people to come to your door, because they will come to your door. They'll come to your door to showroom. They'll shop in store, then buy from a competitor. So you really need to be smart about how you attract your prospects and how you convert them once they come into your store. Yeah, great stuff. All right, let's drill down into this a little bit more, Cameron. Now, what kind of industries do you find are in most trouble? Steve, look, there's no one industry that's in trouble more than the other, but typically I find that it's the older industries who don't think things have changed who are in the most danger, quite frankly. For example, most real estate agents have zero background in sales before they enter their industry. And now the industry is so much about establishing relationships with buyers and sellers, and these agents, they don't even get it. I mean, they just go from putting the hard sell on from one person to the next, never laying the groundwork for lifelong clients. And of course, retail, as we've already discussed, is a big one.
and I explained that with showrooming. Another one I believe is car sales. Car salespeople have a bad reputation, and they need to build relationships with buyers to turn that typical car salesman or car salesperson stereotype around. But with so many car sales being listed on the internet, they also need to stake their territory as the expert before they, become irrelevant. But of course, anyone can benefit from knowing how to build relationships in the new economy and use it to leverage their business to create more sales.
Okay, so look, it sounds like there is a need out there for the types of service you want, but I don't know, I get the sense that a number of even corporates right down to your small business owner that, I don't know, they're a little bit reluctant to seek out help with sales training. Now, one, is that perception true? And if it is, what's holding people back?
Yeah, that's the thing, and I guess it comes back to, any type of training. As you know, Steve, I've already shared with you, my former career, if you like, as a top-level swimming and triathlon coach, and it's no different. When someone wants to run a marathon, there's always that hesitation there. They have the goal or the dream to run a marathon, but there's a hesitation of, is the training going to be hard? Is it going to work? Is it going to be effective? What will I do if it fails? What if I do all the training and it still doesn't work? So, that's one area, but what holds most people back is that they don't think they've got the time. That's the biggest objection we hear. I don't have the time for sales training. My people don't have the time for sales training. They're too busy working on the floor. Well, that's the reason why you should do it. The reason that you don't do it is the reason you should. But here's the thing. They can spend 2 hours making cold calls and perhaps getting one sale, or they can use the new approaches that I'm implementing for my clients, and spend that same 2 hours building relationships, building networks, and doing that actively so they can easily get a result in 4 to 5 sales and create lifelong customers.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting point, and I think it ties in to my next question here, the influence, the presence of social media. How do you work with your clients to use that particular media?
Yeah, look, I help build brands online by harnessing the power of social media to build those much-needed relationships. I teach businesses and companies how to relate to their customers online so they can do what I call sell without the selling. Social media isn't going away, Steve. It's getting bigger and bigger. And as a sales trainer, it would be not right of me to go around talking about sales training and not talk about social media or teach people how to effectively use social media to generate thousands of dollars worth of sales each and every year.
What about the person, Cameron? It's an interesting one because the person is, look, I hate Facebook. I don't want to waste my time on Facebook. I'm sure you come across that from time to time.
Look, absolutely, and it's a warranted comment too, but that's if you're using it ineffectively. If you're on Facebook and you're wasting your time looking at everyone else's life, liking all of the children's photos, the cat photos, the dog's photos, there's a strategy behind this. There's a strategy behind using Facebook. There's a strategy behind using LinkedIn. There's a strategy behind using Twitter. And you know what, Steve? These are different channels and they require different strategies. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It'd be like me saying you've got a car license, but you've also got a boat license. You've got to have a different license for each one. You've got to have a different approach for each one. It's not enough just to have a presence on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, or any of the social media channels that you use. You've got to know how to use them effectively, and that's the key. And for the people who say, look, I don't have enough time, that's one of the things that my team does for our clients. We actually manage the sales process inside their social media channels for them.
All right, great stuff. Look, Cameron, there's one thing that's, I guess it's bugging me with this whole conversation is that the business owner who, I guess, almost pushes off the responsibility. Oh, that's my sales manager's job, or the sales team have to look after that. I've got my secretary for this and this person for that. From your perspective, is it okay just for the sales team to specialists in that, or do you have a different perspective here?
I actually have a different perspective on that. Again, I always fall back on my experience in life. And, you know, I've achieved a lot of success in a few different areas of life now. And for them to have a team, they actually have to have an outside expert come in and train the team. And it's like someone coming in and, you know, and boosting their sales and keeping them accountable because, you know, they're involved in the team together. And for any organisation to be truly successful, everyone needs to have a sales focus. You know, every person can have an impact on sales, and they need to view this as part of their role because sales is the lifeblood of any organisation. And for it to be successful, everyone needs to be front and centre in regards to sales. For example, the receptionist at a business can create trust and build a bond with a new prospect or customer immediately as he or she walks through the door. The IT staff, for instance, they can make sure that the sales team have the right equipment, the right mobile technology to access the data for their sales teams requirements. You think about the HR departments. They need to make sure that every salesperson continues to get training so they stay up to date with the latest technologies. See, not only can you make sure that all new employees understand the importance of sales to an organisation and filter out the applicants that won't be compatible with this culture, but we need to make sure that every company and every organisation knows that everyone who has the opportunity to touch or communicate to a prospect or a customer in some way, shape or form is in fact, in the new economy, a salesperson.
Yeah, it's a whole mindset shift by the sounds of it, Cameron.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Because, I mean, again, think about it. If you've got anyone in your organisation has the potential to create more sales by their actions or inactions in the way they deal and operate in your business than any other person in the organisation. So it's critical that in today's environment, regardless of what labels you give the people in your organisation, everyone must be sales focused. It's a competitive market, it's a changing economy, and everyone in your organisation or your business needs to be focused on the sales.
All right, let's take that one step further. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. You've become quite famous for your renegade sales techniques. So I'm sure a lot of listeners are sitting there thinking, well, you know, it sounds great. I'd love to get Cameron to help me and so forth. But I'm sure there's also a group of people thinking, well, hang on, I'm doing it tough in my industry now. I'd love to, to engage your services, but I'm a little bit concerned here. What happens if I don't get results? So over to you, Cameron.
Yeah, mate, Steve, thanks for asking that. I'm glad you brought that up because we do deliver training for organisations based on their premises and based on their own particular market. And naturally, it's a fully customised program that we create to what their goals and objectives are. And that's why we get big results fast. You know, I'm known as the sales renegade for doing the exact opposite to my competitors, to the other sales trainers out there. So, I get results by doing the opposite to everyone else. And one thing that I do is that I guarantee that every business owner who works for me, I guarantee they'll earn 5 times what they pay me in their first month, or I'll promptly refund every single cent that they pay. And I'm that confident that I can guarantee to generate a significant boost to their business or any business that I'm willing to put my own money on the line.
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it here first. All right, Cameron, what about listeners who are interested in finding out more about your Sales Renegade system? What have you got to offer?
Well, what we can do, Steve, is we can offer them a free 30-minute strategy session with me personally. We actually send them a couple of documents to fill out so we can hit the ground running and uncover some of the really fast ways to create more leads, close more sales, and build an endless stream of repeat buys and referrals in their business. Now, all the information inside the info pack is there, and if you're serious about growing your sales, it honestly only takes about 20 or 30 minutes to do, and what we cover will literally blow you away. When you book a strategy session with me, we'll also send you my latest book, The Sales Secrets Revealed, which is a step-by-step guide to creating more sales and bigger, better paydays.
All right, great. And I'm thinking for our listeners here, I'm sure they're sitting there thinking, look, sounds great, but you're obviously good at what you do, obviously successful. How can I be sure I'll get the attention that I deserve so that, my sales actually improve?
Yeah, look, Steve, we only actually work with a maximum of 3 clients per month. We never take any more than 3 clients a month on at any one time. Now, the reason we do that is because we want to offer the most incredible amount of time, energy and passion to each one of our clients. See, nothing ever compromises quality. And we want to do what we teach. You know, we're teaching about relationship selling. We're teaching about the new economy, building a connection with people. We want to do that with a small amount of people, not thousands of people. So we're looking for people who are serious in working with the sales renegade to improve their sales, leads and prospecting of their business.
All right, and just quickly, Cameron, can you just take us through a couple of steps that people can expect when they actually come to you? So first contact happens, then what happens after that?
So the first contact happens, and obviously they'll just fill out the paperwork that we send them. That'll help us uncover some of the diagnostics in their business, some of the things that we need to move forward on. After that, we'll have another chat and talk about what the best plan of attack is from there. Often that's another call with me, or I can even come out to their business live in person.
All right, fantastic. Look, we are almost out of time. Coach Cameron Roberts, anything else you'd like to tell listeners?
I just want to leave listeners with maybe a couple of things. First of all, make sure you treat your sales training, regardless of whether you get it off me or anyone else. The number one thing is that you need training. You know, it's just like our health and fitness. If you don't train your health and fitness, you actually go backwards. It's the same in business. If you're not consistently training your salespeople, they don't stay the same, they go backwards, because as the markets move forwards, as competition gets better, your salespeople don't stay the same. They actually get less effective in your environment. So I would encourage everyone to get someone to do your sales training and to do it consistently. You know, sales training is not having someone coming in and doing a warm, fuzzy motivational talk. Sales training is doing training consistently to get a desired result, and it should have an accountability program in there as well. The second thing I will say, Steve, is this: make sure that you look at building strong, solid relationships with your prospects, your customers, and your existing customers and VIPs, so that you can look at adding value and asking them for referrals in the future.
All right, we are out of time. We will have to leave it there. So Coach Cameron Roberts from the Academy of Sales and Negotiations, thanks for your time today.
Thanks very much, Steve. I really appreciate the call.
The interview you've just listened to was designed to provide you with an overview of the Sales Renegade system provided by the Academy of Sales and Negotiations. It is not intended to provide you with complete information and should be accompanied by an entire package of printed information. To find out more or book your 30-minute complimentary review session with Coach Cameron, call the Academy of Sales and Negotiations on 02 990 1338. If you have misplaced your information kit, please call 02 990 1338 and request a new one. This recording is copyrighted to the Academy of Sales and Negotiations, all rights reserved.